Today we're going to understand the science behind mRNA vaccine. We will start by unlocking the secrets inside our cell, how DNA gets transcribed into RNA, and how that RNA is translated into amino acids. From there, we will explore how scientists use this knowledge to create mRNA vaccine, how they work, and why they are a game changer in the world of medicine. First, let's see how our immune system works. When a pathogen enters our body, it will attach itself to one of your cells and it injects its DNA or RNA into it. This is like a blueprint for your cells containing information on what the cells has to make. So in this case, the pathogen's RNA will tell your cell to make more copies of the same pathogen. They become factories pumping out new copies of the pathogen that can infect even more cells. Naturally, our bodies have a defense mechanism to deal with such foreign intruders. The immune system identifies and attacks any protein, virus, or bacteria that do not belong in our bodies by creating antibodies custom designed to attack that particular pathogen. But it takes a few days for it to identify, learn, and prepare those antibodies to attack the intruder. Meanwhile, the virus factories are running non-stop, quickly replicating the virus, spreading it in our body. In other words, you start experiencing symptoms of whatever has infected you. After a few days, however, the immune system has figured out how to attack the virus and will start producing antibodies. These attach themselves to the virus, preventing them from infecting more cells and marking them for destruction. As you can see, the natural immune system is remarkable, but it's slow to mount an attack. But here's the cool part, our immune system has a memory. After fighting off an invader, it keeps a few veteran cells around. These memory cells remember how to make the right antibodies, so if the same pathogen attacks again in the future, our body is ready and can respond much faster. Now that we know how our body naturally fights off infections, we are all set to understand how vaccines work. The main idea is to train your immune system to recognize and fight off an infection before it has occurred. Before we dive into the world of mRNA vaccine, let's first understand how traditional vaccines have worked so far. Traditional vaccines often use a weakened or inactivated form of the virus, or sometimes just a piece of the virus like a protein. The idea is to introduce these components into our body so that our immune system can learn to recognize and fight the real virus. While this method is generally effective, there are some concerns. Using weakened or inactivated viruses could pose a health risk, especially for the people with compromised immune systems. They may not be able to fight off even the weakened virus, leading to complication. Another downside is the time it takes to develop these vaccines. Growing the virus in the lab, inactivating it, and then testing it to ensure it's both safe and effective is a lengthy process. It can take years to develop a traditional vaccine. To give you a real-world example, let's talk about the flu vaccine. Every year, scientists have to guess which strain of the flu virus will be most active. They grow these viruses in a lab, weaken or kill them, and then use these modified viruses to make the vaccine. But here's the catch. If the scientists guess wrong about which strain will be prevalent, the vaccine is less effective. Plus, the flu virus can mutate quickly, which means a new vaccine has to be developed every year. This is why you might hear that some years the flu vaccine is more effective than others. Now let us come to mRNA vaccine. To understand it better, let's see the working inside a cell. As you can see on your screen, we have an image of a cell. Notice the central part called the nucleus. That's where our DNA is stored, which contains the genetic information for building and maintaining us. But let's also pay attention to another key player, the ribosome, located outside the nucleus in the cytoplasm. The ribosome is responsible for protein synthesis based on the genetic information contained inside the nucleus. But here's a question to ponder upon. How does the information stored safely inside the nucleus get to the ribosome? The first step in this incredible journey is called transcription. In this process, the DNA inside the nucleus is read, and a related molecule called RNA is created. The RNA is more mobile and can actually leave the nucleus, acting like a courier. Among the various types of RNA, we are focusing on mRNA, which stands for messenger RNA. It's like a text message carrying specific instructions for building a protein. Once the mRNA leaves the nucleus, it meets the ribosome. The ribosome reads this text message and string together amino acid to build protein. This process is known as translation. Scientists took this concept and created synthetic mRNA that instruct our cell to build a piece of a virus like the spike protein on the COVID-19 virus. This synthetic mRNA needs a shield to get safely into our cells. It's wrapped in a lipid nanoparticle, which is basically a tiny fat bubble. This helps the mRNA enter our cells without being destroyed. Once inside, the mRNA trains our cell to produce a piece of a virus just enough to alert our immune system, but not enough to make us sick. It's like a training program preparing our immune system for the real thing. Here's why the mRNA vaccine are a game changer. They are quicker to develop than traditional vaccine, can be fine-tuned to target specific parts of a virus, and there is no risk of causing diseases since they do not use live virus. That concludes our deep dive into mRNA vaccine. We have journeyed from the traditional methods all the way to this exciting new frontier in medicine. Thanks for joining me, and remember, science becomes simple when we break it down step by step.